These are kids who hacked the CIA.
It's October 2015, a chilly day in autumn. John Brennan receives a weird phone call. It seems to be coming from a stranger. He hesitates a second, then picks up.
Hello?
John Brennan?
Who is this?
You're a f***ing loser.
If John Brennan hadn't been John Brennan, this might have looked like an ordinary prank call. But John Brennan happens to be one of the most powerful men on Earth, the head of the CIA.
Oh
Who
shit.
is this? How did you get this number?
It was so f***ing easy, bro. You're such a d***.
What do you want?
I don't want anything. I already f***ing own you.
How much do you want?
We want $5 trillion.
The US government will classify this call as part of a larger conspiracy of identity
$5
theft.
trillion? Yo, that's crazy. So these kids just hacked this shit to fuck with him. Imagine hacking the CIA for a haha funny. That is crazy, bro. You playing with like not even fire, bro. You fucking dancing in a burnt in hell for a haha funny.
Harassment of government officials, and cyber terrorism. The caller will pay a heavy price for this moment of trollish glory.
That you can get arrested for cyber terrorism for a prank call? Like, yo, I feel like people that like fucking SWAT people get arrested for less. What? By the way, if you ever SWAT someone, I hope fucking hell gets rained on you. That is fucked up, and I hope everyone that's ever SWAT anyone gets fucking put in prison. But for just calling a CIA guy, I mean, it's the CIA, but it's like you just called the phone number. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, I don't know. You know what? It depends. We'll see.
Why are you doing this?
We want you to stop bombing the Middle East.
Okay, never mind. All right, you know
Across
what?
the Atlantic.
You know what? If you talk about some political issue while prank calling, you set yourself up. Okay? If you didn't say anything like that, I feel like they would have just been like, all right, we need to change shit. But him making it a political thing and asking for money is what fucked him over. Because I guarantee if he just said haha and then hung up, like nothing would have happened. You know, homie would have been paranoid, traced the number, found out it was these kids, and like moved the fuck on. But then making it seem like it was a greater thing or a greater threat is why it became a big deal.
In a house in the West Midlands of England, a 15-year-old kid in his room, the phone still in his hand.
Yo, this 3D...
He can't believe what he just did.
This 3D generated stuff is
He calls
crazy.
himself Cracka, and he loves to smoke weed. In fact, he's high right now. He's also the leader of Crackers with Attitude. He and his companions terrorized and embarrassed the
Twitch, they're saying in the video, I'm not saying it. Please don't ban me, okay? Please. Please, listen, they're talking about saltines, Twitch. They're talking about saltines. Saltines!
U.S. security apparatus to a near incomparable degree. They leaked the personal data of police officers, FBI agents, and DOJ officials. They hand-delivered top-secret documents to Julian Assange. Some of the most publicized hacktivism attributed to Anonymous.
They call themselves Anonymous.
Yeah, it was actually them. In part for the lol.
Wait, so these motherfuckers were pretending to be anonymous? Am I confused? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Is anonymous like I feel like anyone can pretend to be anonymous because no one knows who it is. You know what I'm saying? So these motherfuckers were those guys.
And this is their story.
This was political.
Yo, this could have been me if I kept hacking as a kid. This is why I stopped, bro. I was like, you know what? I would literally decided I was like, I'm one hack away from fucking some shit up too much and fucking myself over. Because I didn't want to hack to do like this type of shit. I wanted to hack because I wanted to be like I wanted to be one of those people that people hired to hack and like test their security, you know? But it's like, you can only get so good at hacking legally. Like you have to eventually kind of dip your toes into the illegal territory to like really hack servers that are hard. Because if you do the learning servers, they're pretty easy. Hacking state-of-the-art stuff is like, if you can do that, then you can like, you know, it's almost like a portfolio, but that's the problem. It's like, a lot of these top tier hackers that get hired by these big companies, they had to do some like, I would call it online trespassing. I don't know if it's actually legal to hack into a server if you don't do anything. I'm not sure.
Teenager
Cyber attacks.
hijacked the computers of several US intelligence and
A
security
collective
chiefs.
called Crackers with Attitude.
That is crazy though. It's just a YouTuber who did this? This is like a whole company. This is well made, bro. This is just one guy? I don't even know, bro. This shit is made well.
2008 in Virginia, a different kid who only calls himself Default. He's a pretty typical American teenager. He loves soccer, video games, and his dog. He often clashes with his father, who works in the government. At some point, Default starts cheating in his video games. This gives him the first taste of using computers to do things that you're not supposed to. Exciting, powerful things. He starts learning all that he can about how computers work and how to get them to bend to your will.
Nah, this is how I started
2008
too,
was an
bruh.
exciting time to get into hacking. The decentralized hacktivist group, Anonymous, was in its heyday. If you managed to get into their secret chats, you got a front-seat view of their actions.
Anonymous is one of the biggest online vigilante groups. Members hack into companies and governments.
Now a worldwide and widely recognized hacking group.
Hackers with the group Anonymous.
Citizens of the world. We have seen the erosion of due process.
A cyber war. Anonymous has struck again.
Young Default is fascinated. Anonymous embodies
I can't believe like that's the TTS voice, guys.
They showed
that
how
British
you
voice?
force the whole world to
Thank
pay
you,
attention
Brian. TTS
without you
Brian,
having to leave your
appreciate it.
bedroom. Some Anonymous actions are political, some are just trolling. And Default, after tasting this very new kind of power, is keen to learn everything he can about hacking. He starts to hack random websites just for the challenge of it, just to see if he can. But after hanging around Anonymous's chats for a while, he starts to find the group, well, cringe. For one thing, it's crawling with feds. People are getting arrested, and it's tough to know who to trust. Anonymous has become so big that vetting people becomes difficult. There's tons of infighting and doxing. Since it's the only hacktivist group most media outlets know about, Anonymous keeps getting credited for the work of other.
That's the problem, bro. You can't trust a bunch of hackers because they go hack and fuck your shit up too.
Often more sophisticated hackers. It's a mess. So Default gets involved with offshoot hacker groups.
I feel like Anonymous realistically is not that powerful, bro. Okay? You know, don't test me, Anonymous, but I feel like people that actually fuck shit up don't care for the recognition. You know?
Them called AnonSec. The group positions itself as anti-anonymous. But similar to Anonymous, AnonSec performs operations, hacking initiatives that sometimes have a political purpose, and sometimes are just, as one might say in 2008, for the lols. I hated recording that. AnonSec is quite advanced and Default gets better and better at the game. The group controls a botnet. A botnet is essentially a large pack of infected computers under someone's control. You can use those computers to further spread malware across the internet to make the botnet larger and larger. Or you could, for example, attack a server with it in order to overload it. Default is tapping around AnonSec's botnet and gets curious about what computers they've actually gotten under their control. He finds that one is a server of the Canadian Medical School, Windsor University. Suddenly, Default finds himself with direct access to the university's finances. He pulls up records of students who owe the school money. It all adds up to $9.4 million. And at the bottom of the list, something very tempting.
Delete
a delete all button. How could he not push it?
These people might, really enjoy having
insane.
Their slate wiped clean, as it were. If you look, some of them owe a substantial amount of money, like 70,000. I think some people owed upwards of over 100,000. It's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? It's just like perpetual debt that sometimes it just lasts for decades. So, just deleted everything. I went into the PHP shell and just sent everything to dev null and just shredded it. So whatever I sent there is just
man's deleting student debt. You did more than any politician has ever done.
This is from the podcast Darknet Diaries. They have a fantastic episode with Default. Of course, this story poses some questions. We tried asking the university if the debt stayed deleted. They did not answer, but usually...
I'm gonna be honest, if they're this dumb to not have backups, it's a university though. I feel like universities technically, tech-wise, are pretty behind. I feel like hospitals, universities, the problem is if you have a lot of people working for a company, they don't really care as much about that computer as they would about their personal computer. So it's easier for stuff to slip in because of human carelessness, human error, or people are working and they're worried about other stuff. So that's how a lot of companies get hacked. There's so many computers and so many people and they're all connected in some way. That's why a lot of banks are the only industry where I feel like their tech is up to date with the modern day of security, because they have each individual person's computer is like locked down to where they can't even do certain things. You can't put in USB ports. You can't send emails. You can't send emails with attachments. Like they have very specific restrictions on every device because of stuff like that, right? So, you know, I don't know if there's a button to delete all of invoices. I don't think there is. I think he can just like, I think it's just like he logged into the code of the program where you can just like delete all the values like of anything. Like you can do that with anything.
Student loans have multiple on and offline and offsite backups. There should be hard copies of the student's signed loan agreements. However, Default feels like he's really doing something at the time. There is a certain rush to committing a crime when it feels like doing the right thing. Other hackers might have used the sensitive student information to make a profit. There's actually a shadow industry worth billions surrounding our most sensitive data. So-called data brokers gather all the info available about us on the internet, your contact information, browsing history, and online transactions. This data is often bundled into shadow profiles.
Oh, I thought they were gonna like advertise some like, yo, this sounded like it was about to be an ad, but they're like, you can download this service to like, you know, look and see, check for data breaches.
Then being sold, you might receive a tailored mail or a robocall based on your shadow profile. In the worst case, someone might try to steal your identity. Incogni helps you remove your data.
Oh, it is as far as I fucking knew it!
The only thing you have to do is create an account and allow...
Okay, I've always wondered, do these services actually work? I feel like they're also scams. Like you pay them and they can say find where your data's been leaked, but like you can't delete it. Like if your data's already out there, you're already like you can't fucking remove it. You know what I'm saying? You can't fucking delete it. And like they collect data too. Like what, you know?
Incogni to act on your behalf. Afterwards, you can easily track the status of all the requests.
Like, I think maybe what you could use it for is to see if there's been data breaches, but there's free websites for that. And you just type in an email and it'll scan the internet and see if there's anything about it.
Dashboard. Check out incogni.com/ferntv for an exclusive 60% discount on a 1-year plan using the code FERNTV. Additionally, benefit from a 30-day money supporting in Denmark. Other European countries, Germany, the UK, Sweden, had recently banned it.
Wait!
TV.
What?
Additionally, benefit from a 30-day money
No, you about to tell me
despite Incogni's
bestiality was legal in some of these countries for that long?
Always remain cautious when sharing personal information.
You fucking lying.
By trying out Incogni, you're actively supporting our channel. More and more of Default's hacks are motivated by altruism rather than just curiosity. As recently as 2014,
it was legal until 2014?
Bestiality was legal in Denmark. Other European countries, Germany, the UK, Sweden, had recently banned it. What this meant for Denmark was an increase in animal sex tourism. For years, Danish animal rights activists tried to bring attention to this.
They called them dog brothels. So sick.
Huh?
It's so crazy. And I had a dog, so that really pissed me off just thinking about the fact, what if someone took my dog and that happened to my dog? I would freak out.
So, as Default describes it,
Default,
he and other anal sec hackers lend their technical skills to the animal rights movement.
So the
only hackers I can respect are these ones, the ones that do illegal shit for good.
I think
but the problem is, it's like, who determines if it's good or not is where it gets kind of sticky with vigilante justice.
Took down the official Denmark government website, and then we actually...
Because this is what I call gray hat hacking. It's like you're doing illegal stuff for good. This is what I used to do. Well, I never actually did anything with the info. I would just get... I would be the equivalent of a data broker if I didn't sell the information. So I would just get into servers and see if I could do it, and then I would just fucking like log off, move on, you know? It's like I just wanted to see if I could do it. So it was more of like I don't really do anything with information. So I wasn't doing anything. I would really just look into like if I could gain access to servers and then log out. But like I could have done some shit like this if I wanted to, but I didn't want to get arrested, you know,
and said, did you know that your government allows bestiality? And there's bestiality dens where people can go and pay money to
That's still considered
do these
hacking.
things
I
to
know.
animals.
Listen, I'm
And
trying to
most of
cover
them
my
are,
ass, okay? I didn't do anything.
like, people's pets.
They shut down bestiality websites via DDoS attacks and tweet evidence of sexually
that's not
mistreated
bad.
animals. The information
I'm being
reverberates
honest,
around
like,
the
if all
world.
you've done is DDoS the website, I'm kind of like, anyone can DDoS the website. No, I'm so serious. Like, anyone. If you have a website's address, you have the website's IP. So it's like, you know.
And is widely condemned. Anonymous gets credit for Anon's sex actions, which deeply annoys Default. But it works. In part due to the hacks, more people know about Danish dog brothels. They talk about them online, protest them, until the case winds up in Parliament. In April 2015, Denmark finally bans bestiality.
Bro, this fucking like 16-year-old kid in America got
While
a law
Default is
passed that
leveling
needed
up
to
as
pass.
a
That's
hacker,
crazy.
he also becomes an early adopter of crypto. He accumulates a significant amount of Bitcoin,
Oh, he rich as
more
fuck
than
now.
1,000.
He rich
This
as
would
fuck
amount
now.
to a lot of
He
money
rich
today,
as fuck now.
somewhere around 40 million US dollars. He keeps these Bitcoins on a hard drive in his room. He also knows he's making powerful enemies, so he gets a bit paranoid, a bit fanatical with his OPSEC. He never logs into his own Wi-Fi, for one. He uses a satellite dish to log into a free Dairy Queen Wi-Fi half a mile away. He's
some advanced ass shit, bro. Nah, because I was gonna be like, oh, he gonna get a VPN and a VM. No, he did all that. All right, this dude is crazy advanced.
always connecting through a Tor node. Every time he turns off his devices, he makes sure they're encrypted.
Okay.
When he turns them back on,
Did you use a VM too?
he has to wait 30 minutes for them to decrypt. For the most part, he never tells anybody what he is doing. He knows he has a lot to lose.
Nah, like
Ultimately,
Tor VM, I'm like, that's normal. The fucking, bro, the satellite, I never heard of some shit like that.
it won't be enough.
I'm impressed.
Back in May 2013, a 29-year-old US intelligence contractor also has a lot to lose. He has his own home in Honolulu, a loving girlfriend, and a salary of over $200,000 per year.
Damn.
But he's discovered a huge secret.
I'm poor.
And it's too big to keep. The US government has the ability to spy on pretty much any man, woman, child on Earth who has come into contact with a computer. And this contractor, unwittingly, has helped make that technology possible. He's haunted by this information and horrified that his government is violating its public civil rights so egregiously. He knows that revealing this information to anyone, a lawyer, a judge, or even Congress, would be committing felonies so severe that he would spend a lifetime in prison. He's worried he'll never see his family.
How is it a felony to point out that the government is committing a crime? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it a felony to be like, this is illegal? Like, you know what I'm saying? How? That doesn't make sense to me.
Again, and he doesn't know what consequences they'll encounter if he blows the whistle. But he has to do it. He's been quietly collecting evidence of this secret for a while, and he's just downloaded the last documents. He tells his employer, the US government, that he needs a couple of weeks off to manage his epilepsy. This buys him a bit of time to leave the country without arousing suspicion. He chooses Hong Kong because he views it as a bastion of free speech. He believes it's one of the
Motherfucker moved across the world to leak this shit? That is crazy, bro. Some people really like want to do good and don't care about themselves. That is insane.
few places in the world that could and would protect him from the wrath of the US government. There he meets journalists Laura Poitras and Glenn Greenwald and delivers evidence of what used to be waved off as a conspiracy theory. And so Edward Snowden becomes one of the most important whistleblowers of our modern time. Snowden's revelations scandalize the world and spark a long overdue debate about individual privacy versus national security. He inspires many young Americans like Default to take a good hard look at how their government functions. Default doesn't want to sit around and let surveillance happen to him. He wants high-ranking intelligence officials to know what it feels like to be spied upon, to have their private information stored and distributed, and to have it used against them. This is when he teams up with the Crackas with Attitude, founded by Cracka, the kid who's always high.
Yo, it's always some stoner that's just doing crazy shit, bro. I swear to God. I don't know what it is.
England,
These like nonchalant, I don't give a fuck stoners like be some of the smartest people on earth. And if they just applied themselves anywhere else, they would be like rich or doing crazy stuff. But they choose to just be like degenerates.
15. In a housing estate on the outskirts of a sleepy former mining town, there's not a lot to do except get high or go online. In the case of 15-year-old Cracka, he spends his time doing both. He's angry about corruption, about surveillance, but in particular about the US's involvement in the Middle East. He becomes especially focused on Palestine and sees the US as directly responsible for death and suffering in Gaza. He decides to do something about it.
This was political. We heard he was really angry about US foreign policy. So he started a collective called Cracka.
He looks so British. I don't know how to explain it.
And then he hacked into sensitive documents.
Like if I didn't know, if I couldn't hear him speak, I would have thought he was British too.
First victims is James Clapper, then the National Director of Intelligence of the Obama administration. Clapper, one of the highest-ranking members of the intelligence community, had his phone number and address waiting to be found with just one Google search.
I ain't gonna lie. We need like an age limit. Okay, on people in politics. I'm so serious. No, not to be political, but it's like, motherfucker, like how you 80 and you making policies about the internet, bro? Like what the fuck do you know? Like let's keep it a bean. Okay, your political beliefs were set in 40 years ago. Why are we still letting you speak? You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck? Like you like mentally like not there and you still like what?
This provides Cracka with enough information to hack into his email. He posts proof of it on Twitter, which catches Default's attention. Cracka then gets the phone calls to Clapper's house phone rerouted to the Free Palestine movement. Default tweets his respect to Cracka, and the two start chatting. Edward Snowden himself has given James Clapper a very special shout-out in an interview with the German broadcaster ARD. Unfortunately, that interview was blocked from US and German television networks. Apparently, the video is immediately taken down every time it's posted on YouTube, so we'll only show the quotes visually.
I would say sort of the breaking point is seeing the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, directly lie under oath to Congress.
What we do not do is spy unlawfully on Americans, or for that matter, spy indiscriminately on the citizens of any country. We only spy for valid foreign intelligence purposes as authorized by law, with multiple layers of oversight to ensure we don't abuse our authorities.
Cracka and Default are livid. Cracka and other hackers loosely connected with CWA team up to target more high-ranking members of the intelligence community. They want to embarrass them and to show them that they aren't as powerful as they think they are. At the top of their list is John Brennan, head of the CIA. Brennan, like Clapper, has enough information online that he basically doxes himself. Cracka looks up his publicly posted phone number.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like, yo, like, listen, these motherfuckers are like, we need free information, you know, we need all this, but then they fucking themselves over with it. Like, it's legal to have this stuff on the internet because of their policies, and then it's being used against them. Something about that is like, honestly, like, it's satisfying in a way. You know what I'm saying?
And finds out it's a Verizon number. He calls up Verizon's internal tech support and pretends to be an on-site technician who's having trouble helping a customer on site. Tech support asks Cracka for his employee code, and he just makes one up on the spot. It works. The support technician provides Cracka with access, and suddenly he has the account number, the PIN, and John Brennan's private email address.
There's no way he gets the code right.
If you have just enough information on someone, pieced together from different sources, say their address and last 4 digits of their social security number, you can easily change the passwords on all kinds of accounts and take it over. And that's exactly what Cracka does with Brennan's AOL account.
AOL is crazy. Yeah, who the fuck uses AOL, bitch?
Once he's in the email account,
this is what I'm saying. Why we got these old motherfuckers running shit, bro? If you using AOL and you a cybersecurity head, you should be fired. No, like real shit. How are you using AOL? Bitch, are we in the fucking early 2000s? Like what? No, AOL? And, but like you run security shit. Do we not see the problem here? Like, what?
Cracka gets Brennan's private cell number and shares it with Default. And so they start spam calling the director of the CIA, relentlessly calling him and his family.
I told him he was a piece of shit. Basically, like, y'all are awful people. Like, really. Like, you're not doing any net positive things for the world. You're just not.
John Brennan is freaked out.
I ain't gonna lie. Listen, if there's one government agency I would not fuck with, it's the CIA, okay? You fuck with the FBI, fuck with, Congress, anything else. The CIA, man, have y'all seen the amount of conspiracy theories on all the shit they've done? Like, there's these theories that, like, they run everything. Like, real shit. And, like, if you, like, piece them together, like, it kind of makes sense. Like, where they've hypnotized people to assassinate people, like, all this crazy shit. And, like, I've looked into this before, and I was like, damn. Low-key, some of the stuff the CIA does, I'm kind of like, a little bit sus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would not fuck with the CIA. Literally any other government agency, if I was these kids, I would have tested the gamble. The CIA is crazy, though. Like, you got me fucked up, bro. Like, they'll get you killed for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, the calls are little more than a prank, but how could he know that? At the time, nobody knew who was behind the calls, or what their intentions were. Brennan has to lay low for a while in hiding, with extra security details for himself and his family. At the same time, Cracka's breach into Brennan's email gives him access to sensitive documents. Cracka first posts screenshots on Twitter, but then—
Why are they using AOL for their fucking email in the government? They don't have their own servers and shit? Or he had to have been breaking laws by saying, like, he had to have been pulling a Hillary Clinton and, like, sending personal information over his personal, like, sensitive information over his personal email. There's no fucking way. Like, what? So this director broke the law by sending personal documents through his personal email. This is why they have laws about not using your personal email, and you have to use the government mandated one. That's why they almost arrested, like, Hillary Clinton for this shit, because she did that, which is really, really dangerous if someone hacks and, like, uses the information maliciously.
Then, egged on by default, and maybe asking himself, what would Snowden do? He decides to hit up WikiLeaks. Julian Assange himself takes interest. He publishes the documents in October 2015.
I remember hearing about WikiLeaks all the time in 2016, bro. Are they still around?
They include Brennan's 47-page SF-86 application, a sensitive form required for obtaining top-secret government security clearance. The form reveals his criminal history, psychological records, past drug abuse, and other details nobody would want about themselves online. Not only that, from Brennan's emails, WikiLeaks publishes Bush-era recommendations for how the presidency should operate in the Middle East. There's also an internal congressional correspondence from the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence that offered suggestions on how to make future interrogation methods, also known as torture.
I know the video's going. Great in the chat, bro. In 20 years, we're going to be able to ping the government, the president, in Discord services. You so right, bro. You so they're going to be like a CIA Discord or some shit eventually. And the furries that run Discord are going to go into that shit and be like, yo, they're gonna be yiffing in that bitch. You piss them off, they're gonna start yiffing in the server. What fuck you mean?
Compliant and legal.
They're gonna start yiffing in that bitch.
The breach cost the agency $1.5 million in damages and relocation costs, as several operatives went into hiding before they knew that there was basically no threat level. Above all, it was widely embarrassing. Hacking into Brennan's email was laughably easy.
This is true, and it's true that you guys have actually broken into his private email account. How difficult would you say it is?
You mean out of 10?
Sure, out of 10.
1.
1.
There's a lot of, I guess, private information, really. He's pretty stupid, really. He's supposed to be so high in the government.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, like, this dude is dumb. This dude is actually dumb. What the hell is yiffing? I have yiff banned in my chat, but, like, it's saxophone dance with furries. Anyways, role play with involving NSFW stuff. That one was cold. That one was cold, bro. He was like, 1. That shit was easy. Okay, first of all, this CIA operative is dumb as hell. This is what I'm saying. After you turn a certain age, we should not have you running shit because, like, you're behind. You used AOL. AOL? That's like using Yahoo. Okay, that's like using Yahoo nowadays as a CIA officer. Like, what? Yahoo? Last time I heard of Yahoo was like an email that my mom made like fucking 20 years ago. Like, so he's dumb. He shouldn't have been sending stuff. He honestly should get arrested for sending personalized documents through the non-secure thing too.
think we should be a bit more clever.
Can you give us any indication of your background? I mean, how old you are? Are you in the United States? I mean, anything you can tell me about yourself?
Yeah, I'm below the age of 20 years old.
That's called.
I smoke pot, and I live in America.
And you smoke pot?
All day, every day.
We wonder what John Brennan must have thought.
Yo, I fuck with this kid. Yo, he said the CIA head was a 1. He's like, yeah, man, I did all this while high too, bro. Like, that's how dumb he is. I did this high. I did this baked off my ass. I was so baked, okay? Like, I was a cookie on the bottom of a cookie ice cream skillet, and that's how easy it was.
While undoubtedly watching this in his relocation house, what fury must have built up inside him. The CWA aren't done. They release more and more information. With control over Clapper's and other operatives' accounts, it's even easier to get people to give up information to in turn access further accounts and databases. They gain access to FBI's Deputy Director Mark Giuliano's account. There, they discover a database with personal information of 9,000...
The only people I feel bad for are these people, these CIA operatives' families who didn't sign up for this shit, right? But it's like, everything else, like, you quite literally fucked yourself by using your personal email. Like, I can't get over how dumb you have to be. Like, how are you the leading person of a intelligence agency and you use AOL, which is a third-party email service that is owned by a private company, to send government documents? Like, even I wouldn't do that shit. And what the fuck do I do for a living? I'm an idiot. Like,
Department of Justice officials and 20,000 FBI agents. They post it. They then get access to the Justice Department's joint automated booking system, which has records on all US prisoners. They check out the records of fellow hackers like Jeremy Hammond and post those online as well. They wreak havoc and embarrass one institution after another. Did these kids really think that they were going to get away with it?
At the time, I really didn't care. I just that was towards the end of the run. It was just like, all bets are off. You know, I'd gone all the way down the rabbit hole. I just become very disillusioned with people's complacency and their lack of care for what was going on. So it's like, we're going to bring attention to this with like chaos and mayhem.
These some smart ass kids though.
Cracka knows his actions have poked a very big bear. He knows there will be consequences. He just doesn't know what they'll exactly be.
I'm going to go to Russia and chill with Snowden, because I know that the government are pretty mad about this. I'm probably going to get tortured. I'm actually a pretty fast runner.
Default is paranoid the whole time, constantly working.
He didn't give a fuck. I'm a pretty fast runner, yo. Are you? He running circles around the CIA, and he running figuratively, bro.
Worried about his OPSEC.
Default's the only guy that's gonna get cooked, right? Because he's in the US. The other guy isn't.
Guard down. Default became involved with an ex-girlfriend of one of his friends. According to him, he asked his friend in advance if it's okay with him. The friend says sure, go for it. He's way over it. But he isn't. Default and his friend are hanging out one night, drinking and chatting over Xbox Live.
I slip up for the first time ever, being f***ing arrogant and cocky. It comes on the news, CIA director hacked, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that was us, blah, blah. I was like drunk, talking, and just totally like...
Nice friend sold him out?
He never thought his friend would do anything with that information. Hell, he didn't even think his friend would necessarily believe him. But today, Default is pretty sure this friend turned him in. When the FBI raids
That's why I would never date my friend's ex-girlfriend, because it's like, they're going to say they're cool with it, and it's going to bother them, bro. It's still going to bother them. Unless they've dated like 3 people since then, and y'all been in their same friend group for years. Otherwise, if it was their most recent ex, it's not going to be okay.
Lightly. FBI agents enter DeFault's room just as his computer finishes decrypting. They are pointing assault rifles in his face. They drag him out of his room, flash copy his hard drive.
They were waiting for him to decrypt that shit
Before it re-encrypts, and seize all of his equipment. Default knows he's finished, but the worst part, watching the agents carry off his hard drive. The hard drive with nearly 1,000 Bitcoin. He blacks out. Cracka, too, gets raided by the British police forces, and his computers are confiscated.
I ain't gonna lie. The way the British police cars look like cartoon cars, bro. I don't know what it is. There's something about the US cop car design looks so hard and so threatening. And the ones in the UK, it looks like they're fucking some bootleg NASCARs. You know what I'm saying? It looks like you could buy a Hot Wheels of that shit. It does not look serious. I don't know what it is. Whoever designed the US one, they did a good job because that shit looks scary.
One other CWA member gets arrested in the US and 3 more in the UK. Since Cracka was underage and in the United Kingdom, he got a lenient sentence. He spent 2 years in a juvenile detention center. He was the first minor in the UK to be imprisoned for hacking. Today, he's keeping his head down and is done with crime. He just wants to make a career in cybersecurity and move on with his life. He did not want to give us an interview. Default, even though he was less involved, paid a much higher price. He went straight to federal prison with a 5-year sentence. He had to pay $145,000 in restitution, and due to COVID regulations, spent a significant amount of that time in solitary confinement. While pleading in court, he said, "I thought what I was doing was right in terms of political justice, but 2 years later, I realized I was completely wrong." Snowden, too, didn't have a relaxed time fighting asylum in Russia. Shortly after his leak, intelligence officials publicly fantasized about killing him. Whether you're a principled whistleblower who truly understands the significance of what you're leaking, or a stone teen furious at the world's injustices, messing with the US government will change the course of your life forever. So make sure it's worth it. In December 2023, the Biden administration renewed a very controversial surveillance program. The act allows the administration to spy on anyone in the world without warrant, including its own citizens. It includes a vast database of electronic communications. It's supposed to be accessed only when there's a legitimate
To my NSA agent, I want to say hello. I know you're watching this. It's live on Twitch too. If you want to, subscribe Prime, give me the Prime, tier 1, got with your big volume money, I appreciate that shit. I'm also chronically ill, so any money you could throw to me would actually really help. Since I know you're watching me illegally anyways, you might as well watch me legally and, give me a few monies. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. Yo, thank you, E10 for the Prime. Oh my God, are you my NSA agent? Yo, shout out to you, bro. You have a Twitch account that was ready with Prime too? Damn, bro. You're the chillest NSA agent I've ever had. You know what? Shout out to you, my man. I appreciate you, You that guy for real. Thank you, bro. Thank you, A-Time, bro. I appreciate you.
Reason to believe it will assist intelligence operations. But a US court ruling in 2023 found that the FBI has already misused this database 278,000 times.
How are you gonna know the data is indicative of criminal activity unless you look prior to knowing? The program is there so you can snoop in on data that could be criminal activity. But if it's a could be, you're gonna find stuff that's not,
Particularly rampant between 2016 and 2020. They've snooped in the private communications of donors to various congressional candidates. They've been watching suspected January 6 rioters, and they've also been surveilling Black Lives Matter protesters. Maybe they're even surveilling us.
Hey, listen, my NSA agent gave me a Twitch Prime, so I'm chilling with you. I also, the stuff I said about me being like a white hat hacker or whatever, or gray hat, that was not me, bro. That was actually my friend. My friend, this is like a coma fantasy that I came up with. That wasn't me though. That was my friend, the homie. It was the homie. It was not me. It was the homie. So you know what I'm saying? It wasn't me though. But I appreciate you, maybe thinking it was me. Shout out to you, my friend. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Well, that's crazy though. These little kids, man, they some smart fucks. They were some smart fucks. Yeah, see, this is I didn't want to do some shit like this and get arrested forever. So, I just I was accessing game servers and shit. I wasn't doing anything crazy, no government agencies. I was Like I was hacking into like the equivalent of like a Wizard 101 server. Like it was not that serious, okay?